listening to Be Inspired, your one-stop shop for inspiration. Stay tuned for your inspiring show. Now, here's your host, Erica.
So I know you've been waiting, and I'm excited to introduce to you today's guest in the Be Inspired Cafe. She is the first female winner of NBC's hit show, Biggest Loser, and the author of Believe It, Be It. So welcome with me into the Be Inspired Cafe, Allie Vincent. Allie, tell us about your Biggest Loser experience. Like, what prompted you to apply for the Biggest Loser?
Well, you know, it was really interesting because I actually wasn't a fan of the show prior to being on the show. I had heard of that. I know, isn't that funny? In fact, I was kind of offended by the name. I'm like, the Biggest Loser? What, are they mocking happy people? You know, and I just was like, and I heard it from the first person that told me about the show was my younger sister. And, of course, you know, you have to kind of, like, get a little picture of her. She's like this 6 foot tall, drop-dead gorgeous, this Tonga yoga instructor. And so I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. Get off of my back. It wasn't until I was at my mother's house and I was having conversations with her, and she was watching season 3 finale of The Biggest Loser. And as I had a conversation with my mom, and we're not allowed to talk unless it's commercial breaks, you know, and so I ended up watching this show. Well, I could have gone home prior to the ending of it, but I was absolutely mesmerized. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I mean, it seemed like a miracle, if you will, you know, and these people, not only were they losing, you know, astronomical amounts of weight, but it was the confidence that was changing within them that I was so attracted to. And I was just at a point in my life, I'd struggled with my weight for years. I'd been on every single diet, you know, and I'd been successful. I'd lost hundreds of pounds throughout my life. You know, I've also gained them back, you know, but it was always the same 30 pounds, you know. And I just saw this, like, these people kind of find their way back to themselves. And I was just at a point in my life where I was just tired of feeling bad about who I was and how I was showing up or not showing up because I felt so terrible about my weight. And I turned to my mom, I was like, I want to be on this show.
What would you tell that person that's overweight right now and they're struggling? What are some practices that you've brought into your own life that have helped you to not only lose the weight but maintain it?
You know, I think the biggest thing for me, what I realized through this journey, that it truly is, you know, it's weird because you feel like you hear these things and everybody says it over and over again and you've heard it a million times, especially if you've battled with your weight, you know. So you can't, I realized that I couldn't change anything that I couldn't live with forever. It truly was a lifestyle change for me, you know, whereas I had done all the diets and I was really good. I mean, I can count points like nobody's business, trust me, you know, and then I was a pro at carrying around a pound of bacon, you know. I did those diets, but with those, for me, there was always an end point, you know what I mean? It was like, well, when I get to this weight, then I don't have to do this anymore, you know, and it was because it was something that wasn't natural. It wasn't just about choosing healthy food. It wasn't just about, you know, when I eat a little more, do a little more activity. You know, it was about getting these numbers at this time, you know, and that's honestly, you know, towards the end of The Biggest Loser, I started to self-sabotage because everybody knew it. The world knew it. I knew it, that I was going to do this, and then I was just like, wait, whoa, Briggs, you know, and I started to, like, you know, unconsciously eat, like get up in the middle of the night and just eat for no reason, not because of hunger, but just because of a little, like, you know, self-sabotage, because up until that point, the finale was an end point. It was like any other diet in the world, and I think that that's when it really switched for me, that it wasn't, I had to plan through it. I had to know that this was my new lifestyle. It wasn't something that I was ever going to quit. It's every day for the rest of my life. And so make small changes. Don't try to change everything overnight. You didn't get heavy overnight. You're not going to lose weight overnight. It happens throughout every day. For me, you know, I don't even do one day at a time. I'm like 1 minute at a time, honey. Especially when I'm on a machine. You know what I mean? When I'm on a machine, I'm like, oh, I have the grand scheme to, like, run a certain distance, you know, and then I'm like, okay. But I won't, like, here's what I do, too. It's like I always, 10 minutes in, I always am like, what in the heck am I doing here? I want off. And so a good way for me with, like, working out is that I really try to do as many classes as I can, because on a treadmill, 10 minutes in, like, I may not leave the gym, but I'll switch machines or gym, but I'll switch machines, and then that kind of, like, cuts it up, you know, and that's not good, you know. So, but when I'm in a class, 10 minutes in, when I still want to quit, I'm not walking out those doors. I'm not having those people look at me like, oh, what's wrong with her? But that's the way that I continue to have success is I promise myself, that I would choose a minimum of 3 different things a year to train for. And it's because I operate well on having goals. But you got to also give yourself a break. You can't just train, 365 days a year. You can't. You'll beat your body down. Your body will break down. You'll run yourself down, and then you'll go to nothing, and that's not balance. Balance is, really, truly the journey. So follow that through my website, which is AllieVincent.com. I'm on Twitter with, I'm just at Allie Vincent. And then I also have a fan page on Facebook, which is, Allie Vincent. It's really, I really got creative with my site.
Wow. No, I love it. So
how do you find me? Allie Vincent.
Allie. So inspirational, right? For all of you out there trying to lose weight and keep it off, take heed from Allie. Go to her website, AllieVincent.com.